Hello, I'm Extremities and welcome back to the live stream on the internet. Today I'm going to be working on a big project. If you don't know what it is the giant endstone island, which I need to destroy. The reason for this is I want to have one main end island, and having these extra ones is kind of inconvenient. So I'm going to be destroying them bit by bit, block by block. It's going to take some time, and I've proven that it does. But today, to make things go just a little bit faster, I have some efficiency 4 pickaxes, I have my haste beacon, and we're going to just get as much of this done as we can. At the very least, I want to make it look like a nice pattern, because the end is just a messy place. It's a very rough looking place with Enderman everywhere apparently, but it's a very rough looking place, and today I'm going to be trying my best to mostly make that go away. So that's going to be some fun. I hope you will enjoy today's live stream where we do that, and do our usual chill and Toy Cat thing. If you've never seen a Toy Cat live stream before, as in me, I talk about myself in third person sometimes to explain what a thing is, but if you've never seen one of these live streams before, basically, it's where we, kind of like chill, talk with chat, do our fun thing, and at the same time, like we do some Minecraft, because Minecraft is one of those great games for stuff like this. Like, although in lots of my videos you see like some of the most active moments, there's also lots of like what I would call like, like kind of chill gameplay, or like downtime gameplay, or like, grinding if you want to call it that. But like, if you want to get big things achieved, you've got to do a lot of stuff, and that's why it's a good opportunity to do these sorts of live streams. So by the way, big thank you to Loveless Duck 48 for becoming a sponsor on the live stream. It's actually called a member now, but the text still says sponsor there. So thank you so much for becoming a member, Loveless Duck. If you link your thing to your Discord, you'll get the exclusive role there, and now you have access to those exclusive Toy Cat emojis, which is the real reason to want to do so. But yeah, these live streams are supported mostly by the people who sponsor. If you don't know, there's a join button on YouTube somewhere, which I'll go to join.ivxtoycat.com, which is where you find the stuff like that, and I'm super appreciative for anyone who decides that, I like supporting things that I watch. So thank you very much to Loveless Duck 48. I hope that you're not a Loveless Duck, because I know that you're definitely not. Wait. There's definitely love from me to you, Mr. Loveless Duck. There we go. Or Mrs. Lovely. Mr. or Mrs. Loveless Duck, with whatever prefix you want to add there before. Anyway, so yeah, hello, my Cat. Hi, hello. Hope everyone's having a wonderful, great day today. And if you're not, then I don't know, like, why not? Why not make things better at 10:05 p.m. It's quite late in the UK. In case you're curious, today, I had a lot of friends come around. We've been, like, setting up, like, a D&D campaign, because one of the... Oh, by the way, big thank you for the 199 super chat. Sorry. Thank you very much for the 199 super chat, and, yeah, basically... Crowdog says, dropped my phone in a puddle yesterday. I got you, man. It's all good. And thank you very much for the $1.99 super chat. And thank you for the $2.79. Can I please have a shout out? Asks Nancy Menard. Shout out to Nancy Menard. Honestly, one of the things I wish I understood, but I just don't, is the whole idea of the shout out. Because, I mean, like, I understand the idea that, like, hearing your name, something on the internet becoming something kind of real, that's interesting to see, right? Like, it'd be cool if, like, I could insert myself into an episode of Friends or something. But, yeah, the shout system's a bit of a confusing one, because it's like, so you just say shout out and then it's all good? Like, what's the deal with that? I'm not too sure. But big thank you, Daniel.
Love your videos, new fan.
Thank you so much for the 34 Canadian dollar super chat, Daniel Bauman. I'm glad you like the video so much. Yeah, that is a bright orange super chat. So thank you so much for the super chat. It's great. We're just on a super chat hype train already. Thank you to everyone who's pouring in the love and support so early on. We're just here to mine endstone, but it's even better than just mining endstone today. Thank you so much, and also One Zombie for the 79p donation, rolling it in there too, showing that there is no end to the crazy super chat hype train today. Thank you so much. Thank you. But to actually go through with these things, I want to just quickly mention, like, it's crazy how many people have been finding the channel again recently. Like, I mentioned before, but every channel usually has, like, a bell curve, and I was accepting, like, okay, we're on the latter half of that bell curve, it's fine, like, rather than being one of those YouTubers who just, like, tries to, like, cause the biggest controversy in the world, or, like, try to do something horrific. It's just like, okay, this is how things be. But, yeah, like, recently there's been, like, a big resurgence, and I'm always grateful for stuff like that. A lot of people are just like, well, I mean, I deserve it. And there's always got to be a balance, I think, in how much you think you deserve something versus how much you think you got lucky. You always need to accept that both are factors, right? Never only value one versus the other. I mean, except if you gamble, unless you, like that Vegas story. That's purely luck, right? I mean, obviously the tiniest bit of skill, but like, yeah, I think people who only appreciate either luck or things like that are also a bit weird. Also, thank you, Kezaik, for the $2 super chat, and I don't think I can respond to this one. I'll assume they're being genuine. Maybe you need looks for some dead bodies. Hashtag whitey money. I mean, the amount of like fame and notoriety you get when everyone hates you is something people don't appreciate. Also, thank you Insect Gaming for the $1 super chat. But yeah, just in case the person about Jews is serious, here's the weird thing. I just farted so.
I literally just farted so loud.
I like that the super what's that called? Like the text to speech couldn't even properly say so. Was like I farted so loud, and it's like, well, that's just how we spell so now, is it? Or pronounce so. But also got a massive headache, but I'm here anyway. This is Aqua the Alpaca. I'll try my best not to yell, and by my best I mean like I probably won't unless something crazy happens. I mean like if I die, you know, I can't even control that reflex where even if I feel like I'm about to die, my body's just like no. Also, how's your day going? I love you so much. My day's going really well. Like I said, I had some friends come around earlier. We got some D&D going. I also, interesting enough, I bought a new game. It's a really, really old board game, but it came out for Switch recently. It's called Carcassonne. Had a lot of fun playing that, friends. Thank you for the super chat. They're just rolling in non-stop today, so we're gonna load up the Streamlabs page to keep up with them. So Toycat is yes, it's Toycat. Both those things are confirmed. Try and disagree with them. I think you'll find you can't. Okay, there we go. We're gonna load up the super chat things just so we don't miss one. Like I think we saw one from Dylan. Kazak. But yeah, no, okay, so just in case that one was genuine, because I doubt it was, there's a lot more of the, like, kind of troll super chats, and feel free to give me money if you think that's your troll method. But, I've, in my real life, I've never had, like, real, like, where I live, there just aren't Jews. Like, not that because, like, oh, bad reasons, good reasons, just, like, statistically speaking, they're rare. And I just haven't ever run into like the only times I've run into Jewish people have been abroad. Like I met a Moroccan Jew once, which is a really weird subtype of Jew. So yeah, I don't have any thoughts on them as a whole because you only see them in the media, and that's not like a fair representation. Like I imagine if you'd only ever seen like something like, because I've heard in a lot of American towns it's like you don't see Asians. That's like or like you don't see whatever color. It's like that's a media thing. That would be absurd. That's true for a lot of places. That like oh yeah, they're just. How would you even like begin to think about what you thought about them, you know? Because there's a lot of like inherent truths that you can only learn. That's scary through seeing the things. Also, someone asked, I legit cannot find the sponsor thing. Send help, ass. Haley Stark. So, assuming you live in the United States, which I'm gonna assume you do. I don't know why I'm assuming that, like, but you're not. Your name just tells me that you live in the United States, and also that you're Tony Stark's daughter. But no, based on the name, I'm gonna assume US, and go to join.ibxtoycat.com. If you want to know if you can join in your area, you go to join.ibxtoycat.com. But no, if you're curious as to why I want Endstone, I don't. Honestly, I don't want the Endstone because it's like a valuable resource. I'm sure at some point I can use this for something, because you can turn Endstone into Endbrick. Like, we might have to do something and work out something absurd here, but yeah, I don't want it for the blocks. I want to just get rid of it because having this out here just means the Endermen spawn all over the islands, and I'd rather have them look super man-made or something because that'd be kind of fun in my opinion. So that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna make them super square, super weird islands, and it's gonna be kind of fun. So yeah. By the way, I don't know why today is just the craziest, most generous super chat train I've seen in the longest time. But thank you to everyone joining and saying the cool things. D&D's a cool game. I wish I knew people could play it. Says Casey also. Yeah, no, the coolest thing about D&D is you realize your imagination is the true pal. Also, thank you very much, Aqua the Alpaca, for the $1 super chat. What are your opinions on Dan and Phil? Oh, no, wait, this is... Would you watch a Minecraft... Oh, it reads out for me. How nice.
Musical, particularly if it was absurdly over the top. With stuff like Indonesian puppet theatre portrayals of llamas singing about spitting on. Gold sword.
I love the random pauses. It's so awkward. It's so painfully awkward, the text-to-speech. Thank you, Hayekian, for the €2 super chat. But, also, on top of that whole thing, someone I just saw on the second channel say that's how they found me, which is kind of, again, I'm always, like, a bit shocked when that happens. Like, whoa, the worlds be weird these times. But, so would you watch a Minecraft stage musical? Honestly, I think I would, potentially, because there's something about, okay, I hate musicals, right? I think most people hate most musicals. Becoming Farmers is what D&D was made for. I've told the DM, Daniel, I've told him, like, you know, if you don't, if you give unfavorable results, then maybe we start, no, gosh. Ooh, okay, I don't know when I looked at that element, but he is not happy with this. So, it's taking me to YouTube Gaming, US of A. Yeah. So you can only sponsor via YouTube Gaming right now. It's meant to be available via regular YouTube, but YouTube has to reach out to you to enable that, and they didn't reach out to me. Oh no, this is text-to-speech. I read this one. Can I stop this midway through? Oh, you can. So, again, there's a tiny chance this is a real one, a tiny chance it's a weird one. But, so here's the thing. If you don't know, because, again, there was never Jews in my regular life. I also never experienced, like, anti-Semitism, right? I use slow potion. Slow falling potion, you mean? Yeah, that'd be a clever way to do things. It's just, truthfully, I'll just light things up, I guess. That's probably the better way to do things. But, yeah, so if you've never experienced Jews, you probably haven't experienced anti-Semitism. And there's a lot of, in the same way that, like, okay, this is one of those things that gets you in trouble. But, like, I think the truth's important. So, in the same way that, like, a lot of, base causes for any just base discrimination have some root that just isn't always true. Like, it's just sometimes more statistically true. Like, in the same way, the reason, historically, we're talking hundreds of years ago, that used to be not necessarily true, but a common, tale, at least, that, like, Jews would come to a town and, like, because they didn't have a strict rules about borrowing money, they would get rich, etc., etc. But it's generally not a thing that is, like, done in 2019. So, just in case that was real, and that was, like, a historic example, that's good. But I think it might be in a troll being like, well, you know what we need to do? We need to get rid of those darn, and then insert bad word here. So I missed the super chat time. Is it communism time yet? I mean, another fact you might not know about Jews. This is Jew facts of Toy Cat time today. That's all we're doing, all day, every day. But the interesting thing about Jews you might not know is, for the longest time, one of the largest populations of Jews. You assume like, oh, there's Israel, and then probably Germany before that whole thing. But there was a huge population of Jews in Russia, actually. And Russia, the USSR, didn't let people emigrate for the most part. But one of the big exceptions was letting Jews go back or not going back, but go for the first time to Israel. Also, thank you very much, Tatiana, for the £1.81 super chat. Toy cat greater than sleep. Toy cat greater than money. Toy cat greater than life. Toy cat greater than being a productive member of society. I mean, if you can't be if you have the choice between being a productive menu of a thing, then a productive member of society, and also between watching a Toy Cat stream, I'm just saying maybe the Toy Cat stream is a great idea. I'm happy Casey is a mod. Yeah, no, it's just again, it's always one of the examples of like people always assume like, okay, well that's some weird position, whatever. It's like if you're here in the stream and you're also generally useful, that's helpful, like helpful. I literally called it helpful person on the Discord. By the way, big thank you, Kezek. This was semi-recently, 2016. I think in 2018 or 16, 17, etc. Like, we live in such a globalized world that it's almost impossible to slice off half your community. Like, think about your street, right? Even if, like, the other half of your street wanted to kill you, or you wanted to kill them, or vice versa, like, how do you cut that off into two things? I don't know, it seems like a bit too much if you ask me. You didn't give your opinions on Dan and Phil. I don't really have one, like, I'm not their target market. Oh, big thank you, Lindsay Dillon, for the sponsorship. If you don't know, it's called a membership. If you go to join.ibxtoycat.com, there's a thing, and it's a monthly thing, and it's so useful, because especially during months like January, where ad revenue is kind of like a secondary revenue, then that's how the main thing goes. But yeah, so my opinion on Dan and Phil, I'll get back to the sponsorship thing later. I can plug all day. Speaking of plugging all day, let's mine some endstone. But no, the interesting thing is that Dan and Phil, like, it's just, I'm not the target market, right? It'd be like saying, what's your opinion on, I don't know, what's the chick flick that's come out recently? And it's like, well, I mean, I might like it, but it's not something I assume is for me. A lot of people just crazy trash every YouTuber who's not them. A lot of people crazy trash anything that's not for them. Like, in general, like, channels that aim at, and channels that make Minecraft videos for kids, for instance, it's not that I don't like, some of them do a great job, like, I could name examples all day that, like, oh yeah, this is wonderful. Like, I think, whenever I spoke to Stampy about it, he was, like, super passionate about making, a great experience for these, kids who maybe don't have the greatest experience the rest of the time. There's wonderful channels doing niches that aren't for you, but there's also channels in the niche doing not great things. A lot of people just assume that every channel they don't personally like is an awful one. And when it comes to Dan and Phil, I don't watch them. They're not, like, I'm not the target market. Like, to me, it comes across as obnoxious, but that's not to say that they're they are obnoxious. It's to say that they're trying to do a different thing. It's like how when an interesting thing you see is that every like gaming YouTuber who has the same like, you know, kind of young teenage, like 12, 13 audience, you know, like they dye their hair, they do all the things there. It's a lot of YouTubers, I guess, like morph into their audiences, and that's like a good sign. In my opinion, I'm a bad YouTuber for not just perfectly turning into what people, you know, what might be a more successful or what people might want from me. But yeah, so that's a lot of thoughts. But basically, every YouTuber has an audience, whether they design it or not. Also, we got 2 more super chats, and they're both high quality ones. So let's do this. We got one from Mr. J Moople, who says, "Why is my flatulence so deafening?" Honestly, you know, okay, let's talk about flatulence real quick. After 7DTD, I'm gonna have to Google that acronym. 7DTD. 7 ways to die. Oh, 7 days to die. That actually sounds quite cool. I generally don't play open access games, or early access games, sorry, because that's the whole thing. Honestly, early access games, you kind of rob yourself of the fun before they come out. Like, playing Minecraft when it came out versus now is one of the few examples of like, well, I mean, you could work on the same thing, but a lot of games, you just kind of finish them. Like PUBG, I feel like it came out too early, and now there's new weapons. It's a well better game, but I'm just not as interested. And yeah, games with limited lifespan, when they early access, they just take away some stuff. So Kat, what happened to the new 1.13 soundtracks? They exist in the game, I think. I've never heard them inside Minecraft though. Like, I'd love to work out what the conditions are. Maybe if you're below water for a certain amount of time. I know I heard one of them when I was getting achievements once, but it's super, super rare. Also, hi Dylan. So, hello Chloe Booth. Thank you for the $2 super chat. The end stone is just a thing I'm collecting. It's not I'm collecting it. I'm destroying it, not collecting it. That's a good way to put this. Also, yeah, someone said, can you just say secondary, and can you say acronym for 99 minutes? I think the most British accent. I'm assuming that's what you're trying to do there. Like, I think I had an ex-girlfriend from up north, so she was like super impressed by like, wow, you say words proper. And she didn't say it that way. I'm being very offensive, but she was always impressed by the word quiet. It was like, ah, yeah, you love that quiet. But you know, if that's your thing, you know, someday we should just set up a service where like Toycat just says words that people find aesthetically, audibly pleasing. I have a so I hate to do this thing where I talk about something before it's done, but I did finish this. It's just I'm redoing it. It's again this sounds absurd. I'm not going to give any more context, but I think one of the things I accidentally am doing is a Minecraft ASMR video. Again, just you're not allowed to ask any more questions. That's just how that is. Sexy talk toy. I should clarify, not sexy talk with Toycat. Just like a lot of people find accents intriguing. Like I've said before, but like one of the accents I love is just like Canadians. Like, you know, I'm just, you know, I Canadian women in particular. Like it's a thing. Like a lot of like Irish I used to be like obsessed with when I was younger. There's a lot of like slightly not concerning. There's slightly interesting accents out there, in my opinion. I say secondary instead of secondary at work today, and my coworkers are confused. The crazy thing about English is how, as time goes on, more and more things get lost. So I'm going to quickly check and make sure I didn't miss a super chat in there, because there was a lot. So, okay, you're going to be back into Minecraft. Thanks. Thank you so much, Nova the Hyena, for the Canadian $5 super chat. It's really annoying. Can we just real quick talk about currencies? Because it's going to come up at some point, hopefully, if anyone super chats in the rest of the stream. 7DD is now for 17 and is realistic Minecraft. Yeah, no, I do want to try it at some point, but it's a whole thing. But yeah, so you can see this next super chat. It's weird because the way you write $5 or 5 any currency, you write $5.00. It's like, I've always been confused when you say things different to how you spell them, and for some reason currencies is that. Like, imagine if email addresses were just in reverse. Like, oh yeah, well I'm you know, ibxtoycat at gmail at ibxtoycat.com, and it's like no. Wait, that could be a real address. I could set that up, but because I do own the ibxtoycat.com domain. Fancy new emoji things. Oh yeah, so Lindsay. So if you don't know, she just Lindsay and Level Stuck just became sponsors for the first time. This was something that I would I would enable for everyone if I could, but because I can't, I want, like, you know, I enabled it for sponsors. There's a bunch of weird custom emojis, so if you want to be, like, a crying toy cat, or you want to be, like, you know, you got all these fun options, you can do them via the sponsorship, and it's kind of wonderful, in my opinion. I love these streams. They should be a podcast, says Prabha Natarajan. Yeah, no, I think a lot of people love the idea of, like, Toy Cat podcast and show. I don't even know why sometimes. Like, I try.
Guess who's back again.
Guess who's back? Wait, can I repeat that? Because I feel like you gotta say that twice, right? Guess who's back? Back again. Oh no, there's something else off that's like something something. Call a friend maybe. You know, I don't know my references to anything really. I probably should learn those things. But the previous one was we make a map-sized Soviet star. If not, can I be an infidel? So one of the ideas I definitely had. Again, most of my ideas are awful. Also, here are 20 crowns. That's almost enough to buy a bottle of water in Norway. Also, fun fact you might not be familiar with is apparently you can do custom emojis in the super chats. I've literally only seen that now for the first time. So again, you can actually loop them, I think. So if I press it again, it should magically just show up. It doesn't actually. But yeah, there are custom emojis that only show up in the message and not the thing. How many times will he die? Post the number in chat, says Frog. 0 time. Again, this is my survival let's play. This is like big no to die. I mean, I guess it was my survival let's play the last time I died and lost so many hours of work. But in this case, it's like almost worse. I don't know. Toy Cat, you're a big inspiration for me. Thank you for everything you do. You're welcome, Carl. Well, that's one of those names I've haven't seen in a while, but good to see you again, man. Make a pumpkin pie. I demand you of the power of chickens. I mean, pumpkin pie requires the power of pumpkins. I mean, it's literally in the name, man. Side note, pumpkin pie in real life is one of those things that's really good once, and then you don't want it for literally 2 years. It's, like, there are some foods you could eat all the time. Like, bread is just the best food. You might be like, no, Toy Cat, bread's not the best food. No, bread's the best food. You just don't know it. And, yeah, it's kind of wild that you could just eat it all the time. But when it comes to pumpkin pie, it's literally like and in Minecraft, my favorite thing is thematically it actually fits. Side note, big thank you Haley Stark for becoming a member of the channel. It says member here, but it says sponsor up there. Thank you so much for sponsoring the channel. If you don't know, how do I become a member, says Hayakian. It's at join.ivxtoycat.com. The basic idea is like, it's a monthly contribution as opposed to a thing one, and it means that like, it helps sort out some of the variances, because in the YouTube world, I've only ever worked freelance, I should clarify, so, you know, it's fine if you also only work freelance. But, like, the amount you receive from month to month is so wildly variant, which, you know, doesn't match how all the expenses in life go or whatever. But, you know, things are good right now. I'm not, like, saying that as, like, well, I'll starve if you don't sponsor. It's just like, well, if you want to contribute, that's one of my favorite ways to see it. But, yeah, big thank you to Haley Stark for becoming a member. Now what you actually have access to... Oh! Minecraft broke. Temporarily. What you actually have access to is all these emojis, which should show up on screen in a second. Oh, no. Why isn't there a Minecraft-themed drag queen named Elytra Wings? Elytra Wings? Oh, that's a good name for a drag queen, actually. There you go. I mean, like, would you dress up in Minecraft drag or just, like, regular drag? Is there such thing as Minecraft drag? Is that a sentence that makes sense? It's a sentence that makes me uncomfortable, if I'm being honest. Wow. Oh, so you don't see the emojis in the message on screen. But, so, if you're only watching the stream and you're not seeing the chat, check the chat and you'll see Lindsay's super chat has access to all the emojis, showing off the ones we have. The first one, I'm not sure where these even came from. Big thank you, Drake. Wait, how do you even say that? Drake Key. Thank you, Drake Key, for the £1.17 super chat. Been around since the 360 days. Love the content. Keep it up. Thank you very much, man. I'm glad you like the live streams. I sometimes worry when they're like, you know, this super chat train has been going on forever. Would you join the Hermitcraft server? Says Frog. Again, not my decision. It's you know, it's like asking Toy Cat, would you become president? It's like, hey, you gotta ask the Americans to change their laws. Then you gotta ask them to vote for me. You know, like it's not really my decision to make. Or like Toy Cat, would you be open to replacing gravity with like something a bit less oppressive? And it's like, well, I mean, is gravity oppressive? I mean, I guess gravity is oppressive in like the most basic sense of the word, right? I'd rather blindly spend all my income on super chat, says Chloe Booth. I mean, like, but my point is, like, the sponsorship thing lasts there forever, which is why it's more efficient for some people. But again, you can make your own decisions. I'm not usually too bothered. I've never had a stream where we went up for sponsors. That is, like, if you don't know, when you hit certain milestones, you get new emojis, which means that we can add more emojis. Because it's funny, because I'm literally, like, the poster child for, like, I hate emojis. Like, what is there that's so important that we can't say with words? And as it turns out, people think a lot of things. But even though, like, I generally am not a fan of emojis, I kind of like the idea of, like, exclusive emojis. Like, there's something just in me. So thank you very much, Hayekian. One of the cool supporters from both the second channel and here. Or the second channel and sometimes additionally here. It's pronounced Drake Toy Cat. But I mean, it's an 8. You know, the 8 is not an A sound unless you're like 8. 8. I know that's the whole thing. Can you replace grab or something less oppressive? I don't understand any of the super chats in this stream. Who are Dan and Phil? What is a drag queen? Am I supposed to know this stuff? So Dan and Phil, you'd be forgiven for not knowing. They're huge in the UK, I think. I could be wrong. I think they're British. I could be mixing it up. But, and drag queen, I mean, it's like, it's better for you if you don't. As I understand a drag queen, if any of you are drag queens out there, let me know. It's someone who dresses as the opposite gender, not because they enjoy doing it themselves, but because they like to put on a show for others. Did I get that definition right? I know it's like it used to be like it's like a weird. It's not weird. Again, you gotta be careful with your terminology. It is 2018 after all. It's not 2018. It's 2019. Man, saying it's current year is so hard. I swear. It's the hardest thing on the earth. You'll never get anything harder than that. You should do a couple clicker stream, says Nice Prestige. I've been considering the couple clicker stream since I said it earlier today, and that was, you know, oh god, no, that was dangerously close. See, I'm just coming here because I want to destroy this little island down here. So let's go ahead and let's do that, because it's the easiest one to destroy. So let's just get it out of the way, you know. Like, I can just knock the Enderman off it, and then they won't respawn here because I'm here. So just knock them over the end. Knock them over the end. Easy. Sorted. Okay. That didn't kill them. That didn't kill them at all. But yeah, so, drag queens do it themselves too, Toy Cat. I mean, but in the sense that everyone does it themselves, right? So, okay, wait. Toy Cat attempts to explain things without getting devoured by the internet. A trans person does it because on the inside they feel different to how they feel on the outside. A cross-dresser is someone who is just in the opposite, who's dressed as the opposite gender, not necessarily for any reason, it's just the generic term. And a drag queen is someone who's doing it for entertainment. That is my understanding of how these things get mixed up. But no, drag queens are gay men who dress up as women to put on a show, generally with an alternate persona. Do they have to be gay, though? You know, like, these are the questions. Probably a Minecraft stream is not the best time to go through this, is it? But, you know, let's not let that stop us. But no, it's definitely one of those terms that, like, because it's interesting. The English language, you learn all of the basics at school, right? You learn, like, oh, yeah, so here's how words generally work. But it's weird just how many words that you have to pick up by, like, osmosis more than anything else. Hey, thank you, Jalen Fayards, for becoming a sponsor. We have hit 5 sponsors in today's stream. Like, I have never seen such a huge increase in just a single stream. Like, that means that we now have access to, as I understand it, we now have access to a new emoji at the very least. Also, I've started a whole debate. Girl, not all drag queens are gay. There are also women who do drag, says Tatiana. Is drag when a woman does it? When you go, you know, again, I'm gonna look up. I'm gonna say again. There's so many, because English is a language that you mostly can pick up by association, you can be pretty good at speaking it, but to perfect it, you need to, like, study it. Isn't that kind of wild that, like, oh yeah, so you can learn, you can speak it, but then there's some words which I've only ever heard by, like, if I say a sentence right now, so I, you know, trungered the toilet, you have a pretty good idea of what trungered means, right? Like, that's a word I made up, but your brain can already give you a sense of what I just said. Like, oh, you know, that's your weird way of saying that you clogged it. I didn't clog my toilet, by the way. I'm very good at not clogging toilets, I would like to say. I have a friend who clogged 3 toilets in America, which I don't know if that's impressive or the most depressing ability ever. Because, you know, like, those are a whole thing. But no, so, it's interesting that you can pick up so much just by, I know what you'd even call it, like, induction, or something like that. But, yeah, no, the fact that you can pick up so much, but also, you can only mostly pick it up. The subtleties of so many words, like, you know, the subtleties of, even the word subtlety, right? Like, isn't it funny how many, like, mistakes are made on a regular basis by English speakers about English? There's a funny, Friends line, in my opinion. So, if you don't know the episode Friends, if you don't know the show Friends, it's a show, not an episode. There's an episode where Joey goes at one point, like, it's a moo point, and they're like, a moo point? And he's like, yeah, it's a moo point, it's a cow's opinion, no one cares about it. And it's like, you know what, that does actually, it's not that that makes sense necessarily, but also we're going to just waste a lot of endstone, because I want to destroy those blocks, and trying to land there would be pain. Side note, did you see that? An Enderman just died on the floor of the end. I've never seen that. A gigabyte is 1024 megabytes. See, that's another one, but, like, the fact that you can very easily get confused on something as fundamental as a basic phrase. People say it all the time, it's a moot point. But the fact that you could hear it two ways and both would be valid, it's kind of cool, but it means that no one's saying the same things. Like, there are clearly defined languages out there where when you say a thing, you're saying the thing. One of my favorite examples is Japanese. When you, in Japanese, it's like almost a rehearsed language. When you say a sentence in Japanese, there's usually one way to say it. You know, when you speak to the clerk at the store, you know, there is a line that is just like, hello, I am coming to your store, and this, that. And then she says to you, hello, you know, customer. I'm paraphrasing, but you know, you get the point. That there are specific things you say at specific intervals. Where in English, you can walk into the store, and you could be like, cowabunga, dude, or some, you know, you can say absolute nonsense, and the message of hello is still kind of raised, right? Like, oh yes, hello, is what a friendly person saying cowabunga. Do you watch the IT crowd? It's a damp squid. Also, should I just, like, break the last block and then fly out for... That might be a good idea. Cowabunga, says KCE. I mean, you can say it. I mean, I'm not going to recommend it wholeheartedly or anything. But, and in a way, like, when you see how, like, memes work on the internet, it's almost the same thing where it's like, so, we just speak another language, and that's funny, question mark? And it's like, yeah. It's like, you know, like, E became a meme. The word E became funny to a group of people. Like, ah, yeah, E, am I right? And it's like, my gosh, what? this is too far. This is a sign that we need to put the internet on life support. But also, an Enderman literally spawned on the same block as me, so just knock him off before he even realizes. But yeah, some people say it's a weakness of the language, but to me, it's like a strength. It's a wonderful thing. What have we become? Now I want to learn Japanese, move to Japan to learn language defined. That'd be really nice. But I mean, it has its downsides too, right? Because the expression that you get, the fact that in English you don't need to know a specific word, you can kind of guess around it. Like, okay, so let me give you a good example. So today I was speaking to my friends. We were playing D&D, and I was trying to say that I was doing something the long, boring way, and I couldn't think of the word. I was going for like arduous. I honestly don't know what the word was even now. Like, I was going for like repetitive and boring. And you might be thinking, like, what word's that then? Like, but there's so many words that mean that exact thing, and it's cool because even if you don't find the right word, you can find a similar word. Like if you're writing, you can write very precisely. You can say very specific things in English if you want to, but then in speech you can say the exact opposite. You can be as non-precise as you'd like to be, and I always thought that was a strength more than a weakness. Like the fact that English works so well when written, if you try, but also works well. Also, have you done your part by subscribing to PewDiePie, says John Ox. You know, there's the message of the day. Quick reminder to everyone watching, am I right? Monotonous. Yeah, no, I think, see, monotonous it's pretty much the same word as, whatever I was going for, like, repetitive, or like, pedantic. But, like, there are so many words for that same thing, but it might have been monotonous. Like, yeah, I'm just being monotonous here. No, I was being like, there are so many different words that describe repetitive and boring, which is maybe concerning that, like, we think of the human experience as being, like, such a repetitive and boring thing. But, yeah, there's as another good example to describe this, there is 250,000 English words. I think I could be wrong on that. Like, if you exclude technical English, which is just garbage in my opinion, but there's 250,000 words or so. Most humans know 30,000, but we can still communicate with each other because you don't need to know every word. You just need to know most words, and then your brain fixes the rest for you. Like, you'd assume that you'd need to know every word. Like, I mean, if I'm telling you that I'm going to a place at a time, you need to know what that place means and what that time means. But, yeah, no, this is also why. Okay, it took me forever to work this one out. But if you ever go to a bar or a club, or any establishment with loud music, not that I like loud music. I'm very anti loud music. Like, music is nice when you like it. Turning it up when you like it is nice. But hearing music you don't like blasted into your ears, giving you hearing damage, I take issues with that. But when you go to a bar, the bar stop, even without earplugs in, all you have to do is, like, you know, they can't hear you, but they can perfectly understand what you meant, because there's only like 20 orders you could ask for. Like, if you start talking about, so where were you born? What, you know, like, what's the third digit of your credit card number? They're gonna be like. But if you just say, like, oh, I have a Coke, please, they're like, ah, I have had many a person ask for a Coke, please. And yeah, my point with that was just that, like, if from the context is just as important as everything else. A picture of a toilet, a bed, a McDonald's sign, all you need to communicate these days. Honestly, right? Like, I agree with Crab Dog there, right? Oh, think about it. Like, okay, you wake up in the morning, you're feeling a bit bad. Show a picture of a toilet to whoever needs to know. They'll be like, ah, you got yourself the runs or whatever. And even if that's not accurate, I mean, like, it's still most of the way there. And then it's like, ah, I'm hungry now. McDonald's sign. And I can't think of a single other situation that would not be solved by that. But yeah, big thank you, by the way, Jalen Fayod, for the sponsorship. I hope you enjoy the toy cat emojis. If you don't enjoy the toy cat emojis, then I mean, are you really even a human? Is the answer I would go to. Also, let's work on this big staircase. It's satisfying to look at, so we'll do it. What is the third digit of your credit card number, toy cat? I think it's a 3. I could be wrong. Here's a story that I really didn't want to tell, but let's tell it anyway. So, while I was in America, I was posting a picture of the most absurdly sized drink I'd ever had. And I accidentally posted my credit card number, just like out there on the internet. So, 1, pro tip, don't post your credit card number on the internet. I had to cancel it immediately. Didn't have a debit card for the whole time I was in America. And 2, it made me realize that, you know, isn't it kind of weird that we have these magic plastic cards that just have the... Like, why is it that we have the numbers written on the card? Whose idea was that? Like, I guess, like, credit cards came around before smartphones and picture taking. But I would be willing to bet, like, I don't know how you would even track this down. But I bet if you could design a bot to go look for, if you design a bot to look for credit card numbers, I bet that millions of people have accidentally done something like that. Because it was such a subtle mistake. If you don't know, my credit card is black. I don't know if that's a good color. As I understand it, sometimes it's good. Sometimes it's bad, though. Like, so, you know, depending on where you live, either I've got a really nice or a really bad credit card. And, so it blended in perfectly at the table, and I just didn't spot it. And then someone was like, then like 10 minutes later, I'm like, I wonder what people thought about my large drink. I was just about to take off for a flight. I might not have realized for hours, and it might have, like, destroyed my life. But yeah, I reckon most people who don't have attention on them, yeah, people are just like, yeah, whatever, this is a thing. But the fact that, imagine if your front door, your door key had like a number on it, which could unlock your door if you didn't have a thing. So just by taking a picture of your front door key, you would be also, you know, like allowing people to open your front door. That would be absurd, right? But that's literally what a credit card is. Imagine, I don't know, I can't think of a similarly ridiculous thing of having the secret code to your, you know, like, imagine if a wallet, you know, had your, I can't even think of it. Again, I literally can't think of an example as absurd as a credit card number, you know, the secret password, basically, being written on it. Because, you know, one of the really common mistakes, so if you've never worked in an office, then good news. But one of the things I've always noticed, because I always, like, my mind is just, like, always perceptive to really absurdly pointless things. But one of the things, notices I spot a lot in offices is notices saying stuff like, please stop leaving your password on your monitor. Most people put the password to their computer. on their computer. And, you know, it's a really common problem that you have to fight all the time. But that, again, it's literally the absurd thing. My debit card is red. I wish it was black. Black is a much nicer color. So here's the really cool thing. Because a lot of banks want to seem cool and hip, I know my friend's done it. He's got a bright orange card because he wants one like that. A lot of banks will let you custom design your own debit card. Not that I did that, because, like, the only reason I don't is because it's a lot of effort every time, like. One of the crazy things that makes you realize that you're getting old is how many times, like, if a debit card or a credit card only lasts for 4 years, and when you like first get one at like, I don't know, 16, you're like, well, 4 years is as good as forever, but I've gone through like 3 or 4 now, and it's like, my God, you know, apparently 4 years is not a very long amount of time, and that's a sign that you're growing old, I think. I didn't even notice your credit card number, but I don't think I saw it, but I didn't think anything of it. Yeah, honestly, I guess for most people, it's probably the same thing. No one actually tried to commit credit card fraud against me. So, you know, if you follow me on Twitter and you haven't tried to steal money from me, thank you very much. I appreciate it. That's very nice of you. Very considerate, you know. Like, wow, I have the nicest fan base in the world. Have you noticed how no one in my fan base even tried to steal money from me? But, yeah, that's the thing. So, I was thinking about North Korea today, right? Because everyone's asking, like, when are you doing the North Korean realm? And the answer is, like, when I get it put together, which, you know, like, it's not the top. Every day, the cool thing I like about YouTube is that I kind of every day work out what I want to do most, and then I do that first. So, I had to renew my photo for a driving license recently, 10 years. Oh, yeah, a passport and a driving license, they last 10 years too. I'm going to need to get, like, 6 more of those in my life. That's terrible. That's terrifying. But, I agree, Kelly Drummond. But, I'm such a considerate 14-year-old fan, I didn't even commit a crime. My bank does that, and I tried to use a screenshot from Minecraft on my card, but they wouldn't let me. Oh, so there was literally they literally are like, you know, that's too fun. We don't want you to have really good cards, we just want you to pick the darn color. That's interesting. I would have assumed they'd have loved that. Although maybe it's like, you know, products, like Minecraft is a brand or whatever. I don't even know. So, yeah, the thing about Korea, right, because a lot of people ask me about North Korea. The thing I like about YouTube is I don't have to make it, like, you know, I'll make it when there's a good time for it, like, when it feels great. So, one of the interesting things about North Korea I was thinking about is that it's usually used as the example of the worst place on Earth. Like, oh, you know, it sucks that your boyfriend broke up with you, but at least you don't live in North Korea. And, you know, that's true, right? Like, your boyfriend might have broken up with you, but at least he didn't break up with you in North Korea. Actually, you know, like, do you think they have normal relationships in North Korea? It's one of those questions that, like, you know, they've got bigger concerns, but, like, so if I start dating a girl and her parents are in the secret police, you know, do you reckon their parents are going to use that against me? You know, there's all these social dynamics you don't even think about. It's like, one of my favorite examples is, back before we had, regular access, like, back before we knew, like, staying clean was important, back before running water was in everyone's house, we didn't used to take baths. Everyone used to just stink, and that just used to be accepted. Same with, like, parents used to just sleep in the same bed as their children, even when they were making more children. So I wonder, like, you know, in the same way that, like, in the past, things were different, how would, you know, like, dating used to be a weird thing. How is that like in North Korea, you know? Like, do you have normal relationships? I guess so. They do produce more North Koreans, right? But the thing that I find most interesting to think about, my cousin is married to a Korean guy. I feel like you've got to clarify which Korean real quickly. Although a lot of Koreans. Okay, here's a really interesting thing. Korea is only just entering the phase now, like, after 60 years of separation, where there's starting to be a North Korean and a South Korean. Like, they have the same language, but it's trickier to speak, because in South Korea there's a lot of loan words from English. But it's really cool. I love it. Your staircase pleases me. It's a very satisfying staircase, isn't it? I like it a lot. I just hope everyone in North Korea is okay. There's yeah, it's a really interesting thing on, like, a global level of, like, you know, there's less than 0.1% of the world population in there. Is it worth risking, like, the permanent question you have to ask is it worth risking the lives of the other 99.9 to save them? And, like, that's a moral debate I can't even begin to weigh in on, right? But it's one that comes up all the time, is like, you know, like, would it be worth, like, you know, the other way? It's like, it's literal real life version of the trolley problem. Would you, if you could somehow You know, if you could save everyone in North Korea, but there's a chance everyone in the whole world dies, do you do it? You know. Also, growing in North Korea edition, I agree. What about West Korea? West Korean Union. What even is West Korea? But yeah, no. Why do you think the worst place on Earth is? Asked Spygate. So, here's the deal. In my opinion, when it comes to the worst place on Earth, I think it probably isn't North Korea as a whole. I think living under North Korea, there's so many things that are the worst about it, but it's also pretty modern in a lot of standards. I would say one of the worst places would be, in my opinion, again, so everyone has their own standards, and that's based on you growing up in a nice country, you know, like a developed, rich, etc. But I think that, so I think that the worst place for me would be one of those Pacific Islands, or not Pacific, yeah, Pacific Islands, where there aren't any jobs, there isn't any money, there isn't any internet, and the only flights out of there cost hundreds or thousands of dollars. There's the islands, the smallest, the lowest population of any island in the world, or any self-governing island in the world, is the Pitcairn Islands in, I think it's the South Pacific, but it's like west of Argentina. And there are 50 people on those islands. Every few months a ship comes by, and there's a bit of tourism money. And it's like, if you want to get off, you pay thousands for the ship, to a plane, to whatever else. And you wouldn't ever be able to leave the island to know if it's worth leaving the island, right? Like, there are so many things right now, you don't know if they're better because you can't do them. Like, you know, I've never tried this, but do you reckon, like, wiping your ass with, like, a 50 after you've, you know, done your toilet, what word are they, like, chungering business? Do you reckon that actually would be good? I'll never find out, because I'm never going to do that, because it's such a absurd thing. But, like, that, at least on the surface I can say, well, actually, you know, triple ply toilet paper is a lot better, you know, it feels a lot better or whatever. But the thing where I'm like shocked on a, like, the thing where I'm concerned is, like, if you don't know that you don't know, is that okay? Like, let me try and phrase that better. Like, if you believe, if you genuinely believe you have the best life, even though that's objectively not true, do you? Is there such thing as an objectively best life? I mean, the answer is clearly no, right? But yeah, I'd know, like, that. Those are the questions I always ask when it's like, they live such a different life that if I lived in that life and had the opportunity to leave it and come back, I totally wouldn't, right? But also kind of would. We need to combine West Virginia and regular Virginia to make a big Virginia. Yeah, no, we gotta add in, like, an East Virginia too. Like, get a sea colony going. Toycat, did you mean donkey? Yeah, exactly. I mean, os is like a well-known word for donkey, right? I'm pretty sure everyone's familiar with that. No, when it comes to the cardinal swear words, I want to say os is usually not one of them, right? Although a lot of Americans, I learned this one the hard way. A lot of people, every time I say hell, to this day, there are people who say, my God, what did you just say? Or, what's the other one? There's a few words that I used to, I used to just say all the time, and then it's like, oh, yeah, no, it was God damn it. Like, damn. Like, a lot of, I think it's religious Americans, but, like, a lot of, people took offense to that, and I was like, there's this interesting thing with, like, what words people are down with and not down with hearing. And now you know about them too. It's like the Matrix, I wouldn't want to be out, says Kelly Drummond. Yeah, no, that's one of those fun, like, hypotheticals too, right? Like, okay, you learn you're in the Matrix. Do you want to get out of that? I mean, like, the answer to me seems like an obvious no. But it's not obvious to everyone. Okay, we're going to fly up and around. And we're going to land on this island over here. Oh, wait, over here, because it's so small. And we're going to mine it from on top. Okay, we're good. Do you have the space? We do have the space. So thank you very much for the £2 super chat. How do I become a member or sponsor for your channel, says Firegate? If you want to become a member, it's join.ibxtoycat.com. If it's available in your country. Hey, Toycat, do you mean heck? Sorry, I meant, God heck it, darn it. God darn it. Gosh darn it, that's the one. That's the one. But yeah, no, there's only a few swear words which are universally considered right, and those are the ones that I actually care about. Like, I don't care if... Again, I think the idea for swear words is ridiculous, right? Like, so there are just words that we invented so that we couldn't say them. But on the other hand, it's like, well, you know, we're long past the phase of inventing them. We created a bunch of words. Now we don't like using them so much. Because it's funny, a lot of the swear words that are the worst ones, you know, the ones that Australians call their friends today, were used as, like, common language during the 16th century. Or at least my English teacher told me that. I've never fact-checked her. I should probably check that. But my English teacher one day was just like, did you know that didn't used to be a swear word? That word you just said in my classroom? That actually used to be a friendly thing that Shakespeare would say to his friends. And I was like, I don't know if you're telling the truth or if you're getting me out of a bad situation. But either way, I'm on board with it. I had a really nice English teacher at one point. I think we drove her away. Let's go to a protest to make chicken pies illegal. It's just disrespect. What is that whole sentence? It's okay. Would you like to learn any foreign languages? It'd be really cool to learn foreign languages, but my brain is... Oh, God, that's scary. That's so scary. Oh, I looked at Enderman, too. I really love to learn a foreign language, but I'm not good at doing so. I'm going to get knocked off the edge at some point. It's going to be terrifying. I'm ready to fly if I need to. Fly away from the nest. Do I have anything on me that I need to save? I guess the tome from dying will keep me alive. And tips for YouTube, man. You're really good at what you do, and I'd love to grind out my YouTube. It's always so different. I used to think I understood the YouTube game, but the truth is it varies so much from year to year. You need to find someone who's like super successful under the current system, rather than, because a lot of channels who were successful like 5 years ago act like they still know what makes something great or not, and it's like, well, I mean, if it's such an easy thing to do, then why are you not doing it? And that's the easy answer of like, well, I mean, there's a lot of things I know are successful, but I'm not doing. But also, there's a lot of places where it's like, how is that a thing that works? So yeah, that's why I try not to give too much YouTube advice beyond like, try to be unique. Try to find something that people want, but they haven't seen elsewhere. Like, that's basic business advice, right? In my opinion. Hey, Toy Cat, should I change my pick to a cat, says Jalen Farled. I am on board with any cats. Any and all cats out there. But yeah, no, so I was thinking about, is North Korea the worst place on Earth? And I don't think it is. And, but even if you assume that North Korea is the worst place on this planet, which I think is maybe an exaggeration, you know, it's definitely up there, but it's not the very worst. But even if you assume that North Korea is literally the worst... Oh, please open the History Memes channel on Discord. It says opening in 2019, and I think you'll find that it's actually, you know, I think 2019 can mean any time in the next few months. So... Not just yet. We've got like 9 months and 9 days till we open the History Memes channel. No, the History Memes channel is something I do want to open up. Literally everyone should change their profile picture to a cat, says Casey. While having a profile picture of a cat. Can I mine down here safely? I can, so we're just gonna... Oh, God! Okay, that technically worked. So yeah, we're just gonna destroy all these little islands because they're annoying, getting in the way. I know we're losing endstone, but it's not about getting the endstone. It's about removing the island from existence. Hey, Togat, you should create communism for the end. You know, end communism is the best type of communism. Or like space communism. Because one of the things you might not know if you've never watched Star Trek, I haven't, I'll admit, but I've watched a lot of the... I love the lore behind certain things. Quick maths, says Lindsay Dillon. But one of the things I find fascinating is the Star Trek universe. Because they basically have space communism, right? Like, it's communism, but in space. There's no money. People just do what they want to do. And I've always thought, like, you know, isn't everyone on board with that as an idea? Like, if we could get to the point... but then we had the debate on YouTube a while ago where, like, you know, even if I didn't have to work, I would still want to work. You know, like, there are things I'd like to do. And I wonder if, like, in a future where there is literally no scarcity of resources, anything you want is always available... Do you reckon even in that future, there are people... Do I have a torch? No, I do not have a torch. Do you reckon there are people who just go, like, to the factory every day because that's just their ideal employment? Because, you know, you usually assume that people work for money, but, I mean, not necessarily all the time. I love how serious the discussion gets. Yeah, we go back and forth between, like, you know, here are some... let's talk about space communism, but also let's talk about this. But... So yeah, I need to get off this island now. So I'm going to fly... I guess we should destroy that island. It's just such a nightmare. It's kind of scary if we mess it up. So I'm gonna fly that way, and I'm gonna. I'm so nervous every time I fly, but let's do this. Oh, okay, we're good. We're safe. We're alive. So let's deposit all of our endstone away. Do you like the staircase still, by the way? It is quite satisfying. I do have to admit. My work is actually killing me, but college, you know. But yeah, no. So that, like I said, whenever you do both work and education, a lot of people generally prefer the education. But a lot of people left education for work, and that's one of the best decisions they've ever made, is what I was trying to say. I kind of slurred that they've, but yeah, you forgot about the violence in Central American countries. I'm not sure what that's. Is that like for space communism? Are you saying that they don't want space communism, or are you saying is that one of the worst countries to live? Because one of the things I find so interesting, I can't quite work out why, but if you try to work out where the highest murder rate is per continent, it's like, okay, so South America is the highest, and then I think it's like Africa, North America, and the lowest murder rate is the continent with the most people. The continent where you arguably have some of the most reason, because there's a lot of income disparity. Like, every single thing we assume about why people kill people should be true about Asia, but just isn't. And one of the things to this day I still can't work out is like, so why are there no crimes there? Well, I mean, there are crimes in Asia, but significantly fewer per person. And it's one of those, like, there are so many big questions that we never really stop to consider. Oh my god, I'm just killing Enderman all day. That's just my new career. Just Enderman slaying. Wasting my armor very slowly. It's gonna die eventually because of this. But yeah, so it's one of those interesting things of like, you know, does that mean that Asia is the best continent to live on? Do you think that do you think the rate of murders is something that should affect your decisions on what makes something good or bad? Because I mean, it's even in the like highest murder rate in the world, you still statistically are never gonna be murdered. But like, why is it so much higher in some places? So I graduated high school, so I could go into further education, so I can eventually graduate again in 2022. So in 3 years' time, so I can work in education. Oh, you like the teacher thing? It's surprising actually how many teachers have watched the things I say, because I think that I'm like one of the worst teachers out there. I feel like it should be frustrating if you're a real teacher. Of like, you know what? You started talking about space communism. You made a good point, and then you started talking about that time that you know, like why Asia's so much less at stealing things. Also, it's because Asian culture is based heavily in honor and valuable of life. But I mean, it's not that in South America they don't value life. Like when you're 7 in South America, they're like, so you don't have to do this anymore. But yeah, it's cool to see that you're going to school for teaching. I think teaching is one of the most important things to do, because if there aren't people teaching the excitement of education, like we need to have people, I think, that go out and discover and explore things, right? I think everyone agrees on some level that, like, you know, exploration, we should have lots of that. We should have people trying to work out what will cure cancer and what will, you know, where we'll find the next planet. Because, theatre teacher, I'm no smart cookie. And I've always wondered, like, you know, actually getting people excited is the one thing I can never properly do, right? Like, I can always, like, play with people's excitement. That's what YouTube's kind of about. But it would be kind of cool to be given, like, I wouldn't want to do this, because I hate the idea of forcing people to do anything. But yeah, theatre teacher. Use a water bucket for the Enderman, says Abed Islam. Yeah, no, I totally should be doing that. I don't know why I'm not. I think I have a water bucket on me. I don't have a water bucket on me. I have 12 diamonds, though, just so if I die, it's that much more painful. What a smart decision. What a great, well-balanced decision I have. So, but yeah, so anyway, so what do you think of philanthropic capitalism? I think that one of the biggest flaws, by the way, thank you, Abed Islam, for the £2 super chat. Do appreciate it. One of the biggest flaws in our current system is we don't glorify people who donate well enough. Everyone consistently acts like people have a moral obligation to solve every problem, and you maybe do. But rather we should just say, hey, what if we rewarded people as a society who did stuff like that? That's how it works for everything else. And then when it comes to the actual most useful things, we say, well, people should just have to do that. Imagine if someone just said to you, hey, you have to buy vegan products. Why? Because you're killing animals otherwise. You'd be like, no, you don't tell me what to do. Or like, that's a bad example because lots of people are vegan, but like, hey, you have to stop buying my competitor's product. Tango is garbage. Don't buy Tango. And you'd be like, no, I like Tango. It's got a good taste. If you like Tango, by the way, you're objectively wrong. Like, I don't know what's wrong with your taste buds, but go speak to your doctor. But, because Tango is, like, awful. It's, like, I don't understand why a single person drinks Tango over Fanta, but like, if I said, don't buy Tango, you buy Tango, you're a morally so I think that is the biggest problem, the biggest flaw we don't really solve. I think that, additionally, you can do the same thing with taxes. Rather than saying, oh yeah, this is a thing you have to pay, keep the requirement to have to pay taxes in there, but get people excited about why they should pay taxes. There's a lot of really good reasons you should pay taxes beyond just, oh, it's illegal if you don't. And we should promote those reasons, rather than being like, oh yeah, pay your taxes, but also, it's okay if you don't, wink wink, nudge nudge. So yeah, there's a lot of things like that. Yeah, I just find it interesting that people the best solutions to problems are the ones that usually don't involve force. On YouTube it's the same thing, right? Like, you can try and force people to watch your videos, but have you ever enjoyed a video you felt forced to watch? Or, oh gosh, I've said it before, but like the real eureka moment was that, like, you can never make a video successful. You can give people the directions, and then you can hope they do it. And so much of life is better if someone gives you the directions rather than the destination. And yeah, we don't do that enough. We have a real problem where we say, like, oh yeah, you can. Anyway, that's my point. So oh my god, I just looked outside. The sky is neon orange. See, you're making me jealous there, Evelyn, because the odds are we don't live in the same place and my sky isn't orange. But I need to look out my window now, because I'm like, you know what? Maybe the sky is orange. Sky is not orange. Sky is the exact opposite of orange. Actually, the opposite of orange would be what? One sec. Color wheel. The opposite of orange is blue-green. And it is not blue-green. But, yeah, no, too much income taxes can afford to raise 4 kids homeless. But yeah, I just did the exact same thing. So yeah, apparently I'm wrong about what the exact opposite of orange is. Also, just to answer the question that I don't think I did earlier, the sponsorship, the easiest way to do it is at join.ibxtoycat.com. It's actually not available in a lot of countries, I've realised. It's available in, like, the EU, mostly, and also other things. When's the next member event going to be? Any ideas? It's going to be in February. So if you don't know, it was jokingly like once a month, but it's realistically like once every few months. So we did October's UHC, but we did November. So December's one is in February. And we're probably going to do Sky Wars, if you want to learn about that. I just realised blue sky is normal. Oh, blue sky is normal. No, it's actually black out there, but that's the whole thing. I'm going to pretend it's blue-green, though, to seem clever. Because, you know, I would like it if people thought I was smart. Why not? But, yeah, no, so, okay. Well, let's go back to this North Korea point. I want to finish this point. Because I was thinking, even if North Korea was the worst place to live on the planet right now, you would still rather be a, you know, like, a regular person in North Korea today than literally a king 500 years ago. Like, there are so many cool things that even, like, you know, the poorest, the worst of the human population have. And I always enjoy remembering that as, like, a sign of, oh gosh, that was, okay, I've got to really watch out for stuff like that. But it's always good to remember that, like, human progress comes so far. And a lot of, we don't even fully understand human progress sometimes, right? It's like finishing a fort in a single stream. I had this from in the Let's Play days too. The worst bit is because the Let's Plays were recorded, I would say something and then say, you know, something else and then never come back. And it's the end of the video, so now it's never going to happen. No way, Max fan in this part of the internet. It is a real fan, unless you mean Pepsi Max. Man, like, can I just real quickly, I want to put some time on this one. Because the fact that to this day, Tango has not improved their recipe genuinely upsets me. Every time I'm like, you know what, Tango can't be as bad as I'm thinking. And it doesn't taste like oranges. It doesn't taste like anything. It just tastes like someone was there like, hey, you know, how about we made Pepsi but was orange? And they're like, oranges are expensive. And they're like, we don't have to use oranges, lol. It's a whole thing. Someone said they can't hear me. In this case, the mic is definitely on. Just means the recipe is perfect. Your pick is gonna die soon. So, yeah, no, I just like to bring back the Tango thing, because it's like, it's my favorite example of, like, you know, if I ruled the world, I would outlaw Tango. Like, Fanta's not even that great, it's just better than Tango, you know? It's just, like, you know, compared to the other two, sure, why not? It's kind of interesting, like, how many things can look better by comparison, right? It's actually, like, a big social phenomenon of, like, the more, I'm trying to probably work out the words for this one, but the more choice you have, or if you have very few choices, then the worst things look better by comparison to the good things. And this happens with, like, people. Like, if you are unattractive but hang out with less attractive people, you look more attractive by comparison. If you are super attractive but you hang out with people more attractive than you, you look unattractive by comparison. Because we don't really have points of reference for most things, right? Like, what is your point of reference for how good food tastes? Like, can you remember how good the food you last had tastes? You think you can, but when you get hungry, you know, it starts to exaggerate in your brain. It's like rose-tinted glasses, but we have it for, like, the vast majority of things, right? Like, what's better, the first episode of Game of Thrones or the last one? Well, probably the last one, because of recency bias. Have you tried other flavors of Fanta other than orange? I think pineapple's the best. In the UK, they used to do icy lemon, and it used to be really good. I don't think they do it anymore. Wait, one sec. Fanta ice lemon. Apparently you can buy it as stuff for £1.25. But the last time I had it, it just didn't taste the same. I think because, like, it relies on a certain amount of sugar. Maybe I should just, like, buy the Fanta and then pour some sugar in or something. I'm not even sure. But a flamingo doing the mango. But there are so many things that you just have no way to compare. Because I mean, like, the only real, that's why I think, like, oh gosh, that's why I think so many people who prefer Pepsi to Coke or Coke Zero to Coke or whatever the thing they prefer, what they really prefer is, like, they had some good situation at that moment. Because your brain is, like, such a complex, bizarre thing. One of my favorite weird things is if you throw up after eating a food, you won't like that food, but you won't even realize why. Your brain is just like, hey, that food makes you sick because you ate that food, then you got sick. So I couldn't eat Tesco pizzas, for instance, a random example, but, like, I like frozen pizza, I've said before. If you don't like frozen pizza, you have not tried the right frozen pizza, by the way. But I really like frozen pizzas. I used to really like them from Tesco. I threw up after eating one once, and literally, even to this day, I can still just feel, you know, like that Parmesan cheese, blah, blah, blah. I know it's a whole thing. This is also my first live stream. This isn't your first live stream, right? Question mark. Oh, winking face. I didn't see it, like, the winking face at first. I was like, well, okay, welcome to the first live stream. Question mark. I mean, since you've been a member, I guess. Pepsi's better than Coke. Diet Pepsi's disgusting. See, that's my point. Like, Pepsi is actually sweeter than Coke. You know, like Pepsi Max and Diet Pepsi, there is very little difference between them. I like that Pepsi Max has more, like, to it, if that's even a thing. I know, it's a whole thing. It's a whole thing. So I'm going to destroy the link between these two islands now, just because I want to have less surface area for Enderman to spawn on. I think it looked better that way. Thanks for talking about puke while I'm eating. Oh, I was talking about this with a friend too. Some people have this thing installed with them. So thank you very much for the £2 super chat, Chloe Booth. My rabbit's named after Fanta. Hi, Lemon. Wait, Lemon is... I mean, it's not even... Oh, it is called Icy Lemon. But, these are the debates the internet should be having. I mean, like, everyone's so focused on, like, you know, whether we should have a government or not, that no one's focused on which flavour of Pepsi is the best. But, take a Elytra to make things more fun, says the Great Gander. Wait, chat, should we take off the Elytra? There we go, that's a great idea. I tell you what, all we have to do... Oh, man, I'm just terrified because I have learned the bad things that happen when you do that. So, Costco pizza is sad. I really want to try Costco pizza. It sounds like it'd be kind of good, maybe. But no, here's another interesting one. Some people have that part of their brain where when they hear about vile things while eating, it puts them off their diet. But a lot of people don't, and I never had that. So I thought people were just, like, making jokes with it. I thought people were just exaggerating, like, oh, yeah, I just can't bear that. And it's like, yeah, okay, good one, ha 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 ha. But, like, some people genuinely can't hear about, you know, bathroom issues. You know, you say the word diarrhea once, and they're like, well, there goes the food. Sorry for the 10 of you probably eating right now, where you're like, oh, there goes the food appetite. But, like, for me, like, I don't know. You could show me a video of, like, a man having his brains blown out or something. I'd be like, you know, really am in a sushi mood right now. And I guess that's just a weird thing like that. No more fishing either. Oh, yeah, that fishing live stream. Oh, I'm having, like, PTSD flashbacks now. Like, no more, please, no more. Have you ever tasted Iron Brew? Iron Brew is my favorite, like, major, let's call them sodas, but, like, favorite, like, fizzy drink flavor. Just because it's actually unique. Like, at least to me, it's unique. The food appetite? Well, how should you have an appetite for? I mean, when you say it like that, it makes me sound a little bit crazy, doesn't it? But I simply meant, all I meant by that was food appetite as opposed to... I mean, actually, you can have an appetite for destruction. You can have an appetite for a Toy Cat live stream. You can have an appetite for money, like an ambition. You know, like ambition can be described as like a you know, success appetite. You know, yeah, I'm gonna defend my original point here. It's gonna be fine. Iron Brew's amazing, says Kelly Drummond. Right, it's the best thing. Here's my fun fact I like to throw out there every time it comes up. But every country around the world, every single country where Coke is sold, it is the #1 soft drink beverage. With the one exception being Scotland, which arguably isn't a country, it's a sub-national country. But rather than upsetting Scottish people, I'll say that Iron Brew is the #1 drink in Scotland. And it's not owned by Coke, it's just, I think it's owned by Bar. It's like some random thing. Also, Kit Kat supports them for Christmas. It's good stuff, it's the best. What are your plans for Calgary? I went there last July. Oh, so let me talk a little bit about Calgary. If you don't know, I'm going to Calgary soon. Very, very soon. I'm spending a few days in Banff, spending a few days in Calgary. And I just wanted to say that I've been looking into it, and I get like more and more hyped each time, because like they've got like a snow bike system. There's a lot of things I want to do. It's gonna be a really active like thing. That I'm gonna ski. I'm gonna walk. I'm gonna snow bike. It's gonna be a thing. Anyway, thank you very much, Jalen Fayard, for the $2 super chat. My dad gave me a $60 Toy Cat debit card, as in $60 to give to Toy Cat, or $60 with Toy Cat's face on it, or your dad is actually one of the people who saw that tweet from a few days ago and he's robbed me for $60. You know, there's a lot of different ways you can take this one. I'm close to Calgary. Wish I could see you there, says the Woohoo Gamer. I mean, statistically speaking, if you just walk outside enough days, you might run into Toy Cat. What is a snow bike? They've got, so there's actually two things that I could be talking about. I just mean they have the bikes with the really thick tires designed for running on snow. I love snow anything, so that's fun. And I love going down, like, hills on bikes, because, like, every e-bike has a speed limiter, but it can't stop you going too fast. Like, I don't know why. I'm sure this is a legal thing. If you've never ridden an electric bike, they have speed limiters on them, so you can only go a certain speed. But that only applies to your pedaling. Like, it will stop your pedaling being more effective. It will slow down the motor. But the wheels can go down as fast as they like. So you can use the electric motor uphill, and then you can obviously use the wheels downhill. Very, very fun. Wonderful. You mine an entire stronghold? Are you going to try mining an entire ocean monument? I actually did. So, oh my gosh, I just realized that I was 5 minutes behind in chat. Yeah, every now and then I see people respond to, like, chat from the start of the stream. I'm like, you know, you're going to have a great time when you catch up. You're going to be very confused for a while. So, what game has the best story in the world, in your opinion? Says Ben Heli. One of the best stories, in terms of just, like, the action. Like, it's hard to beat, like, a Modern Warfare 2 or something. Like, it's just pure action, action, action. But in terms of an actual good story to tell, definitely not any of the Elder Scrolls games. Honestly, there is a story game that I play for every few months, but I forgot what actually, a few years. I can't think what it is on the spot though. Sorry, just bikes with large tires. Yeah, exactly. That's the one I'm talking about being excited about. But you also get these things where it skis on the bottom of the bike. So if you want, instead of skiing on like instead of having skis attached to your feet, you can have them attached to where the wheels would be on a bike. It's the most absurd thing. My favorite story game is Flappy Bird, says Stella Blue. Yeah, Flappy Bird has this really great story. It's about a bird who decides one day that he wants to be more than just a bird. That he wants to be the best of everything. I love Celeste. Oh, hey, Celeste! I've been playing a bit more Celeste recently. It's a lot of fun. Really, really great stuff. Toy Cat, can you try digging out an entire mineshaft next? The problem with a mineshaft is it's just a lot of wood, right? It might be fun regardless, but it'd be really, really quick. What I'm gonna do next. So by the way, thank you Jaden Violet for the $2 super chat to give $60. Now I understand. But the next destruction project is probably gonna be a village in 1.10, 1.9, 1.10. Yeah, 1.10 for Minecraft Bedrock, or 1.14. Just call it that to be simple. But that's my next big destruction project because I'm curious as to how many blocks an average one contains, for instance. So we're gonna destroy one and then put it back together in survival. It's gonna be great. A lot of wood, right? Nudge, nudge, wink, wink. Hey, you should try and dry an entire ocean, says Frosty Fox. After draining that ocean monument, I've learned that, like, draining anything takes so much longer than you'd assume. So, I think, honestly, if I was gonna do something like drain an ocean, I'd have to pick a tiny patch of ocean, and it would take me, like, hours. Because destroying the stronghold was going to take me like 3-4 in my head. It took me a whole day. And I mean, the video got like, you know, I'll be honest with you, the video earned me not a significantly less than, you know, what would be minimum wage or whatever the whole time. And I'm playing Minecraft, so it's fine. But it's also like, you know, ideally I should be making decisions where I don't earn significantly below minimum wage on a daily basis, because that's how you stop being able to do the main stuff. So yeah, I really enjoyed doing that, and I'll enjoy making a Minecraft 1.14 village, but I think it's ill-advised to just do them for the fun of it. Fanta is Nazi juice. If you don't believe me, look at the history of it. Yeah, Fanta was made in Nazi Germany because Coke Germany got separated from Coke America. They couldn't make the ingredients anymore because they couldn't get the imports or something. So they just started using orange, and now that Coke, you know, orange became Fanta, and that's the whole thing. But I mean, it's also arguable that the anything made in Germany during that period is. So, if you don't know, even though it was kind of being done before Hitler, Hitler was the reason that Germany has autobahns, which are they're the best roads in the world. They have no speed limit. They have pretty much the same fatalities as everywhere else. So, like, it's the most efficient road network in the world. The VW Beetle, the VW anything, all came basically during Hitler's time. But I think calling them Nazi things is a bit inaccurate. Just a bit. So, I love your channel. Toy Cat is yes, as Jalen Fayard. Thank you very much for the $2 super chat. And also, it's got, like, laser eyes, but you can't see them there. How many minutes has it been? That's a good question, friend. It's been 1 hour and 8 minutes according to that. 1 hour and 21 according to this. I'm not sure which one is correct. It'd probably be 1 hour and 8 minutes. I'm not even sure. I guess we start usually streaming. Whatever. We got roughly 30 minutes to go, is my point. I come in all here is Nazi Germany. Everyone loves when we start talking about that. Also, good to see you, Nara. Why is he doing this? Is that one big boy? I need to get rid of all of... I need to destroy the end. It's kind of just in the way. So that's what we're doing. It's a lot of effort to do it. Most European cars are made by a company funded by Hitler. Oh, suspicious. But no, yeah, it's that's what made Nara show up for the stream. Assume the shortest time is correct so you can stream for longer. Hey, no, I think that's what we'll do. We'll just like assume roughly. There's always someone who's like, hey, you click/clock baited us, and it's always fun to just be like, yeah, we'll do that. But you're talking about Germany behind my back. But yeah, but no, the truth is like, you can't in the same way that you don't establish everything made between 1980 and 1989 to be Reaganist, or like Tetris, if you don't know, was made in communist Russia. The guy who made Tetris never made any money because in Soviet Russia there was no IP, intellectual property. So EA owns Tetris now. So instead of the man, and you know, the guy who made Tetris, he hates it because he took a Russian folklore song and he thought that it would help more people learn about that song. But no, what ended up happening is a lot of people associate the folk Russian song with the Tetris theme. It's, to me, that's still mind-blowing. Like, man. But you can't say that Tetris is communist, right? Because it is, but I mean, like, because it was made in that time period. But it's still also not necessarily accurate. So not just the cats, but the dogs and the birds too. Toy not... Oh, wait, okay, I'm not even sure what you said there. So Cat, you're my new mum, says Atlanta. Atlanta is one... So I'm assuming you're named after the city, or you just like the city and your YouTube's name's that. I've always thought that Atlanta is the most confusingly named city. Every time I hear it, I'm like, oh, is that sunken city below the Atlantic? Oh, no, it's not. As it turns out, that's another mistake. So, what I'm really saying here is I'm mildly annoyed by the whole name. Are you streaming tomorrow, says Jalen Fayard. No, I usually don't stream on Mondays. I have the Let's Plays, if that's your thing. But I'll stream on Tuesday too. Oh, so, in case you're curious, on Tuesday I'm trying out a brand new game. It's a weird sponsored stream. It's called Fairy Fences X or something. It's the weirdest Japanese game I've ever seen. I got a really interesting offer to play it, so I figured, you know what, let's give it a whirl. I'm gonna try play Fairy Fences X, and I'm gonna see how that goes. Atlanta spelled backwards is still Atlanta. That's not true. It's Atnalta. Atnalta? Yeah, Atnalta. You know, as long as you don't say words correctly, Atlanta spelled backwards is still Atlanta. Tetris is communism. You get rewarded for having the same level. Did you know, though, Monopoly is like the biggest anti-capitalism game out there? Monopoly is a critique on capitalism because if you let one person get too far ahead of the rest, eventually everyone can get kicked out of the game, and that's a problem. In real life capitalism, it doesn't happen because if you let too many people get kicked out of the game, then, you know, riots in the street eventually start to happen. But yeah, no, Monopoly, another favorite game, is because, you know, Tetris isn't actually saying anything about communism or whatever, but Monopoly is a super hardcore, you know, like, if you think about it, Monopoly is just a huge, you know, it was meant to be a full critique of capitalism, but then my favorite thing about this is, like, so many of the additions to the game, mostly made by the American version, but, like, because Hasbro, I think, owns it, but so many of the additions to Monopoly make it less of a critique of capitalism. And I love that someone... Again, it's another version of someone made a thing and didn't realize what they were actually doing. Oh, we're so close to the end of this pickaxe, by the way. Good spot, Max Damon. Let's move on to the next one. But, communism is more calm. Communism is more calm than a game of Monopoly. Monopoly is just a game you play because you feel like it was fun that one time you used to play it, and then you play it and you realize, you know, maybe it's not as fun as I thought it was. That's the story of every game Monopoly that's ever been played in history. I used to play a lot with some members of my family, like, not my close family, I guess actually like my closest family, and every time it was just like, my God, why is this the thing? This shouldn't be the way things be. I would donate 99 cents if you get some water and drink it, says Weird Flexible, okay? I'm actually super thirsty, so I'm not doing this for your 99 cents. Feel free not to super chat. I mean, I know you won't, because most people who say stuff like that don't. But I really need to drink, so I'm going to take a few seconds. I think because I talk so much, I need to drink, like, whenever I start streaming, I get crazy thirsty. Like, so thirsty you wouldn't believe it. And there you go, fun fact. Oh, you know, now I have to feel guilty. Now I criticize someone, and now I'm just the worst, right? Toy Cat drinking water for 10 hours should be a video. But Weird Flex But Okay did give me 99 cents. Thank you very much for the super chat. The weird thing about 99 cents, right, is for YouTube, that's such a non-profitable super chat to take. Like, they took 99 cents from your credit card company. Sorry. Who charge, I think it's 30 cents plus 3%. So we're talking 33 cents on the 99. So then they got 66 cents. Then they have to take some amount, I don't know what percent it is. And then they have to like work out the payment infrastructure to give that to me. And it's like, this seems like horrifically inefficient. But you gotta give them credit for it. Also, thank you, Jalen Farland, for the $1 super chat. But literally drinking water for 99 minutes. I think I could, you know. Although you might die. Why the odd number though? Honestly, when it comes to these live streams, the whole concept is just like, you know, what if we made a slightly different number than before? You know, we did 90, we did 120, we did 100, but we never did 99. 1 cent more. Yeah, you know, you sure have shown weird flex, but okay. Who's boss? Look at the void misses you. I am so terrified every time I look down there because like it's just not good thing for me. And like eventually I'm gonna have an Enderman who just like knocks me in, proper good. So either the Enderman stopped caring about me. Oh, there he is. So yeah, I think we need to just torch up the end while I'm here because like just having all these Endermen spawn. I'm just not good at not looking at them, and I don't want to put a pumpkin in my head because it's so frustrating to look at. And also, I'm not very good at fighting them, as it turns out, because now they just stop caring about me. So, do you do parkour maps as TED test? Honestly, the thing about parkour maps is they're really good, like while you're doing something else. Like if you're just bored and running around, they're great. But I don't necessarily think. I've never had fun just playing one that's like a dedicated sit down for 10 hours and do that. So that's my thing. Do you play Minecraft Xbox One beta? Oh, how do you play? Maybe? Or is that hey do you play or how do you play? Whatever. Loving the stream so far? It's okay as yes. Hey, thanks for the £2 super chat, Dylan. And yeah, the parkour map thing is... Sadly, I do not do parkour maps. Like, it's just like, again, it's always a preference thing. I never try to like... say that something I don't do is the worst. However, things I don't do are the worst, am I right? But let's go ahead. Let's go just a little bit more. Oh gosh, we are just destroying it down to the end. Thank you, Salty Cracker, for the 99-cent super chat. Appreciate the night. What are some of these names? Who signed up one day for a YouTube account and was like, you know, I could put my real name, but what if I had Salty Cracker there instead? Also. Fairy Fence F for Tuesday. Yeah, that's the one. Did I say Fairy Fence X? I think I did. But yeah, I'm gonna just like open it up, give it a whirl, see what it's all about. I'm not sure how it's going to go, if I'm being honest. I am not sure in the slightest, but you know, sometimes that's the fun in some of these things. I do IRL parkour, boy. I would love to do IRL parkour. Like, I wish there was a place you could do that safely and fun. Because I love trampoline parks where, like, they've got the things set up like that. You know, I want to go to a trampoline park now. I think I'm going to go to a trampoline park sometime soon. Oh, but, okay, let me tell you about something. I don't know who told me about this first. I think it might have been Kit Kats. But it's an American thing. I've never heard of it outside of America. But it's something I want to do next week. You know, it's going to be weird to set up because I have to be like, hey... how many of you? There's just me here. I just want to goof around and try this. But there's a thing where you get a giant tube, like a pool ring, and then you drag it down an ice slope, like a downhill slope. And every time I think about that, at first I'm like, you know, this is terrible. Why would anyone want that? And then I think about it more. I'm like, you know, actually, that's the dream, right? Like all of the fun and all of the thrill, with none of the effort because someone is dragging you by a car or something. So, yeah, chat. It's tubing. That's the one. I don't know why I called it, but I don't think I called it anything. But tubing is still like every time I think about it, a part of me immediately like is like no, and then a part of me goes, I'm gonna do it. It's gonna be great. Tubing's pretty great, man. But like here's the thing about tubing. It should be awful on the surface, right? I don't know. Like it just seems like the sort of activity you can't just do. Because I never found any easy place to do it, but then apparently where I'm at, it's good. Also, have a good night. Thank you very much. Have a good night yourself. How much time is left in the stream? The stream goes on for another, not very long actually. How long does it go on for? So I think we started at roughly 10, but a little bit after 10. So I guess we would be on what right now? If you clock bait, I'll give you $1. Tubing sounds like Londonese slang for riding the metro. It actually does, doesn't it? You know, I could totally see that. Like, I go tubing to work every Monday. But I'm looking for someone to see my city. Hey, Toy Cat, won't you see my city? It's being worked on. I thought you meant your real life city there, and I was like, you know, where's your city? You know, I guess we'll work it out. So, are you my mum now, or this is Atlanta? I am officially your mother. Yes, that is what I'm saying right now. I'm the best Tetris theme tune beatboxer in the world. Boop, doop, 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 doop. Every time you look at okay, you know, I've got a confession for you all. So like, unlike guitaring or something like that, where you can see the skill just looking at it, one of the things that I always think is easy when I look at it, and then I know isn't when I try, is beatboxing. Where I'm like, beatboxing can't be hard. Side note, you should collab with Green again. Thank you for the $2 super chat, Ender318. We've spoken about it a few times, me and him. It's just we need a good idea. So, I don't know, tell him if you have a good idea for us to collab, I guess, is my point. Tubing is all fun and games till you skip across a rogue log sticking out the lake bed. Now you made it sound less exciting. So I'm going to pretend I didn't read that. You say tubing was on a hill with ice. There's a thing called tubing here, but it's being pulled on a jet ski or boat, not being pushed on land. Oh, I guess it's one of those things that you can just do in any temperature. Because, like, you know, there's jet skiing and there's not ice skiing. There's ice skating, but there's also regular skating. Wait, those are different things. Are they? You know, my point was just going to be, there's so many things that you can do on ice that you can also do on not ice. So I guess, yeah, it'd be behind, like, a jet boat for you. But no, the one is usually down a hill, at least that I've heard of. Isn't it Atlantis? Right, I mean, I'm just saying, every time I see Atlanta, I'm thinking Atlantis. I can't be the only one, can I? I can't be the only one. But, ice hockey. Yeah, ice hockey and regular hockey. Do you know anyone who actually plays regular hockey? So, Cat, do you accept donations in Minecraft coins this Firegate? I do not accept donations in Minecraft coins, because I don't think you probably legally can. I mean, feel free to send them my way anyway. It creates a really weird tax situation because, like, I just have to tell the government, like, so I got paid £16.80 last year. Also, some mine coins. Did you just say rogue and rogue correctly? Can you try it again? So the word he said was rouge, R-O-U-G-E, but I knew he meant the word rogue because it made sense. I used to play floor hockey. I like that it's called floor hockey, like non-ice, warm hockey, you could call it. Like, what is the opposite of ice? Like, I guess water, gas, floor. I guess floor hockey is the only way to go of it. Wood hockey. I mean, like, why is it even called ice hockey? Why don't we just call it like frozen hockey? I mean, like nowadays, frozen hockey. Oh no, I broke the pickaxe. Oops, sucks to be me. I only just repaired that too, so that was a big mistake. Big mistake. But that sucks. That's fine. It's okay. Yes, even though he's mildly annoyed by name and my mother. Yeah, exactly. I'm your mother because I'm criticizing your name. I mean, like, that's what mothers do, right? They sit there, they criticize you all day, and then every now and then they tell you not to go kill yourself. I should clarify, I'm joking around. Before someone goes a little bit too crazy on that. Deaf to knock hockey. Knock hockey is a good one. Field hockey. Oh, there's field hockey as well. Yeah, you're right. That I've actually played field hockey. I've played hockey on a grass field the one time. Oh, so by the way, November is the best Thursday of the year since Water Bottle. Thank you for the 199 super chat. Appreciate the high quality insight you have to add to this conversation. So I'm just gonna stop. Oh god, I'm gonna start flying and just put this stuff away. But yeah, we have a lot of fence done. I don't know how we're gonna work out how to use this, but we're gonna have to work out something because it is snacking up beyond my wildest beliefs. So yeah, here's what the island looks like now, by the way. I actually kind of like it. I actually think it looks pretty swell. Though I've got to destroy all of that soon. That's going to be my next big target. Because then I can just cover it in, like, I don't know, torches and pretend. Yeah, that's my strategy. Cover in torches, then pretend. So we're going to destroy all of this row right here. For the most part. Like, up to somewhere important. And then we'll just keep going down. Field hockey was really big in my primary school for some reason. Yeah, honestly, the crazy thing about ice hockey is that you need a whole nother skill to play it. Like, I don't know, tubing not in water, hockey not on ice. I don't know a lot about sports, but I thought I understood those two things. You know, there's a lot of things that are repeated on ice and then not ice, right? Another example, I think it's bobsledding and luging. Luge, I don't know what it's actually called. But there's a version of bobsledding without the ice involved. Although one of my favorite sports that you do in both ice and not ice. So let me clarify, I've never shot a real gun. That might not be true. I've never shot a real gun and had fun with it, at least. But I know shooting is like a really intense sport. There's a reason that like soldiers have to be so well trained, right? Like, so now we've got that out of the way. One of the sports I find interesting is shooting is an Olympic sport. So in the UK, you can actually get a gun if you need it for, you know, sport reasons, which is absurd, but real thing. It's not very common. No one really does it. There's a lot of restrictions. But a thing I find interesting about it, maybe it's just me, is the fact that there's also a form of shooting in the Winter Olympics. There's a form of shooting, it's called like the triathlon. You have to, I think it's like run and then ski and then shoot. Like, while your heart rate is low, I think, no, it goes high when you're exercising. While your heart rate is crazy high, you've gotta do your thing. Also, good night, Lindsay. Have a wonderful not being alive anymore for a few minutes. I mean, I debate myself sometimes, like, if you're asleep, are you really even alive? And the answer I always come up with is no. Biathlon, cross-country skiing plus shooting. Yeah, no, it's crazy cool, right? Like, the idea of, like, you know, what if we took this thing and made it better? Like, I would love to see a Minecraft championship where every single person has to, like, I don't know, get their heart rate to 120, like, I don't know, whatever exercise it is, do some press-ups, do some, you know, maybe just run for, like, 25 minutes or something. You know, like, get yourself exhausted physically, and then try and use your mental acuity. I would watch chess if it was like, okay, so you got the regular chess, you know, you got the women's chess, which, fun fact, there is a separate women's division for chess, which I think is a bit interesting. But, you know, it's definitely one of those conversation starters. But something kind of interesting should be, like, what if we had chess, but it's chess where you have to... Oh, no, I'm wrong. I just remembered. Real thing. I'm going to Google it just to make sure I'm right. Because I believe there is something called boxing chess. I am 85% sure there is a... And everyone's saying it in the chat, chess boxing. Right, and that's where it's literally half about the fighting each other and half about boxing each other. So it's not just like getting your heart rate up, it's about having your heart rate up against the same person that you're trying to beat in a game of chess. Can you outmaneuver them as well as outbeat them? Because so many sports and other things like that are just about learning one skill, but learning two skills that, like, cross over with each other, that's wonderful. Jump off and I donate $100. Even if I could guarantee the $100, which I definitely can't, because, I mean, like, most people who say that definitely are not being serious. But I'm not sure if I would want to jump off, like, with all my stuff right now. I think the amount of hassle that would cause me, it's not necessarily that it's not worth $100. It's just that it wouldn't be a great trade-off. What time do you go to sleep, says Blake101. Thank you for the super chat. See, the super chat hype train from Blaze has never ended. It is a non-stop continuous function. But, yeah, no, to answer your question. So right now, I got back from America. I was perfectly unjet-lagged, right? I was like, yep, I'm ready for this all day, every day. However, what might have happened last night is I couldn't sleep. So I woke up at like 1 AM and decided, you know what? It is time to just go crazy. I did so much, like, important stuff, like, let's prepare for the works tomorrow. Let's do this. Let's do that. See, I did a lot of I booked hotels for the next week because I still hadn't booked hotels for my Calgary trip. I worked out what I was doing most of the days. Like, I did so much preparation, basically. And yeah, basically now I think I sleep about 4 AM, but I'm gonna try and sleep about 2 AM tonight. So that's the plan. Because I just got crazy, like, jet destroyed yesterday. But yeah, no, I'd be mostly fine to get back to the UK. If you're not familiar with international travel, if you shift your time zones too much, it's bad for your brain. It has no idea how to cope with it. So, anyway, that's the whole thing. My heart rate goes up when I play COD BO3. My heart rate goes up every time I play any Battle Royale game. Like, just something about the idea of being in the last few people is kind of crazy. What American shows have you seen, Toy Cat? Says Jacob Ortiz. If you're not familiar, most shows they show in the UK are American. When I show Americans like TV, I try to show them British TV because we have a lot of it, but the majority still is from America, which is why British people understand Americans perfectly, even though the accents are very far off. Because you sound like on the TV. I don't know what accent that was, like Southern maybe? How many blocks have you got? Too many blocks to count. Well, I mean, actually, it's actually a very countable number of blocks. But yeah, Toy Cat, is this your favorite game? I think right now, yeah, like, there's just so many things that I've said before, but Minecraft is underrated. For so many reasons. It's just beautiful. IT Crowd is the best TV show. Okay, here's a funny story. Peep Show is a really, really, really good British TV show. If you have Netflix, you should have Peep Show. Again, I had an American girlfriend, showed her Peep Show. Oh no, it was Black Mirror. She watched all of Black Mirror. Like, we watched an episode together. Good old Netflix and chill, right? And then, like, she went home the next day and was like, so I watched everything up to season 3, and then, like, you know, the day after. So I've watched all of Black Mirror. And these are hour-long episodes we're talking about, and there's, like, at least 12 of them. Because Black Mirror is seriously good. So yeah, Black Mirror is always the top-notch British recommendation. I wouldn't say it's British anymore. I would argue season 4 is not a British season. It's just like a Netflix season, which is, you know, it's fine with it. Not bothered by watching British TV all the time. But the Bandersnatch thing is very much set in Croydon, which is part of London, if you don't know. Or I don't think it was part of London at the time that is set, but let's not be pedantic. So, also I've got to work out a better system for all of this. But yeah, so basically, Black Mirror is my go-to recommendation. Peep Show, seriously solid. Have to recommend it. Have you seen Bandersnatch? Of course I've seen Bandersnatch. Or rather, I have experienced Bandersnatch. So after Black Mirror, I always recommend Peep Show. But the funny thing about Peep Show is, I didn't tell a lot of people about this. But Peep Show is also a very dodgy name for... Again, you know how, like, drag queen is a term everyone knows, but you probably shouldn't know? I feel like Peep Show's on that same list of, like, you're better off not knowing what a Peep Show is. There's no situation in your life where you'll be more fulfilled for knowing. But it's also a great British TV show. But I didn't tell my German girlfriend that, like, oh yeah, so Peep Show's also this. So she met some stranger. And I was like, there's this really great show, you know, like, I watched this Peep Show with my boyfriend. And she's like... So yeah, look that up sometime if you want to know why that's so horrifying. I still haven't gotten around to watching Bandersnatch. I really need to figure out how to watch it soon. If you don't have Netflix, you can sign up for a free 30-day trial if you have a credit card number. You can cancel immediately after joining. That's my recommendation. If you already have a Netflix 30-day trial, then you can sign up for another one as long as you have a different credit card and a different billing address. Fun facts of Toy Cat. By the way, thank you very much for the $2 super chat. You clock baited. Good job. Are we actually over 139 minutes? I guess we are. Hey, chat. I'm sorry. I clock baited you all. I said it was 99 minutes. But really, it's more like... How many minutes are we on? Like 100 and... You know, we're going closer to 2 hours, probably. I do need to stop soon, because I need to get my brain ready for bed. Like I said, I've been, like, destroyed, like, late by jet lag, and I spent all of today with friends, but... In general, oh god, we're messing up badly here. But yeah, I just wanted to kind of like have a few more things be properly finished. Because this is still ugly. This whole thing. So what I'm going to do to make this look better is just destroy the things at the edge. I don't even just pick it up anymore. Like, it's not my concern. Just, I want to make this look more square. Because then it'll look more man-made. Which is what I'm going for with this whole thing. So just all the way down. Nice and square. Just how we like things. Same with this, and then we'll be wonderful. But, you need a smartphone, tablet, or PC to watch it. 103. Oh, we went so far over. Yeah, okay, so here's the interesting thing. The Office UK is the worst. Every single other TV show that I've ever watched that started as a UK version and turned into the US version. Like, take The Office, the IT Crowd. It's like, oh, it hurts to watch it in American version. So, yeah, after Peep Show, I recommend the IT Crowd. IT Crowd is super good. Super good. After the IT Crowd, Inside Number 9s are kind of, you know, like it's hit or miss. I bet they never miss her. You've got a boyfriend. I bet he doesn't kiss you. There you go. I nailed it. Look at me. I'm learning how to say it these days. Try to say B, but push your lips like you want to spit. But yeah. There's also there's in the thick of it. If you like, again, a lot of people prefer British politics to American politics because there's a certain class to it that you just don't see in the American system. If you like House of Cards and want to see a bit more of a comedic version, although apparently House of Cards is a whole problem these days, right? But yeah, if you want to see a more comedic version of like a House of Cards, or like I don't know, I think The West Wing's meant to be that too. I've never watched it, but in the thick of it, my friend loves the thick of it. Like, is it the thick of it or in the thick of it? Like, he's watched all the episodes so many times. He just loves the absurd one-liners in there. It's a good show. I binge watched the IT Crowd once. It was good. That's the problem with British shows though, is we just don't have enough of them. Like, we have like 3 to 6 episodes a season, as opposed to the American, what, like 29. It's like, you know, we like this. We're gonna make enough to, you know, like, I don't know, watch over an entire 6-day span. So after that, just to go through a few more recommendations, because I want to get this out of the way, let you all know. If after the thick of it, I also recommend episodes. So this actually got produced by this is actually an American TV show, but they took I think it's made by a British producer that made an, okay, you'll struggle to keep up with this because it's the most meta show, and it's not even really British, but I would recommend it anyway. So there's a show called Episodes about making a TV show. So the TV show is about a couple who are taking a British show and trying to make it for an American audience. It has Joey, what is his name? Matt LeBlanc. But Matt LeBlanc plays Matt LeBlanc. It's super, super bizarre. It's a little bit meta by the end. But it's a really good show. I liked it a lot. And like, if you like your British TV, you'll probably like that. Sherlock is obviously another. You gotta watch Sherlock. If you haven't watched Sherlock, you haven't been doing British TV right? Also, we'll just destroy all of these blocks up to there. There we go, nice and easy. But yeah, Michelin Web Look. Oh, by the way, so yeah, the Michelin Web Look, 100% recommend that as well. But the only problem is that they don't make more of it, and they probably never will. Whereas at least Peep Show, it's gonna come back eventually for like some weird reunion or something. But yeah, Michelin Web Look, as well as Michelin Web Sketch, I think it's called. Like, to this day, I think Michelin Web Look is one of the best, one of the very, very, very best sketch shows they've ever made. Oh, and if you want to see like actual, like how British people laugh at each other, there's Little Britain, which is horrifically not family friendly. But as long as you're down with that, you'll like the show. So yeah, either way, I think we had a pretty good run today. I'm running out of chests with which to place things in. I guess we'll just place a second one on this side, right? No, we can't do that. Over here? Yeah, sure, why not? So we're just going to start loading in more and more of these. We have so much endstone to pick up, but if you want to see the adventures where I pick up even more, then we'll probably do another one of these streams in the next few weeks. Tuesday, I am streaming Fairy Fencer F. It's a weird... Google it sometime, it's a super bizarre game. And on Thursday, we might stream Cobble Clicker, if that's your whole thing. So thank you very much for watching today's live stream. You can hit the like button if you liked it, share it if you really liked it, subscribe if you're around here, and make sure you turn on the bell if you love turning on bells. I don't know. Thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.